Welcome, traveler! I kind of forgot that I'm the owner of an item shop, but the only item I really have is this beautiful plant called Pearl Ivy, and it's been almost a year since I built this, so I think it's time for some new items. And I think I should start off by building daggers. I'm excited. I'm excited for the amount of gold I'm going to earn from adventurers. And actually, I need those adventurers to bring me some items, because I'm not much of a fighter. I like to stay in here, because I prefer living. So let me hang out some quests. Okay, first I need some seawater from the ancient sea, specifically from the Siren depths. And I do need the water in a solidified shape. And by that I don't mean ice, but you'll see. Let's say 5,000 gold. Alright, I'm pretty sure that at least someone will take this quest. The next one I'm not that sure about. Well, I need some gears. Really tiny ones, but high quality gears. The gears that I need are part of a monster. Problem is, I forgot the name, so I'm just gonna call it Clock Monster. Let's say 10,000 gold. Okay, let's see if anyone will take it. And lastly, even though that's kinda unrealistic, I need a feather of an angel. That should be pretty hard to achieve. Angel feathers tend to turn to stone, so I'm gonna write solidified is okay. Yeah, this one should probably be around 50,000 gold. We'll see. Okay, that's all the quests for now. Let's just wait until the next day. Well, looks like someone actually took the second quest. I'm guessing this is the loot. That sounds good. And here we have quite a lot of gears. That's all of them. So, the first dagger I want to create is a steampunk dagger. This is gonna turn out great. First day of working on the project and I think I'm developing a cold. If that's actually the case, there will probably be a time skip. Well, I thought I was gonna be sick for 1 or 2 days, but I've had a fever for 5 and now it's been 6 days. I lost a bit of time. I hope you don't mind my fried voice, so let's just continue. I do have a lot of gears and I'm gonna use them later. But first of all, I need to make the actual dagger. And this time the best suited material is actually wood. So I have a bunch of popsicles here. They're just like the ones with ice on top, but a bit bigger. If you cannot imagine how to make a dagger out of this, I got you. First of all, I kind of designed a blade with the popsicles as a reference, so I knew how many parts I needed to make. Once I had a bunch of separate parts, I laser cut all of them. I kind of wanted every element to look rather interesting without looking too much out of place. And I think I managed to. So as a base, I have these 4 elements, which I just glued together on the edges with hot glue. And yeah, I know that's not stable, but for stabilization and of course design, I put an additional layer on top on both sides. And finally I added these little details as well. Then for the handle I wanted to use some leftover wood, but it's kind of bigger than I remember and that would look stupid. So again, I used a bunch of popsicles, cut out different sizes of rectangles, as well as a pattern for both sides, glued everything together, and here I have a handle that fits way better. Now I have 2 main elements. As you can see, they're pretty stable. And 2 additional design elements. Now the thing is, I cannot just glue these together. That wouldn't look good. And I kind of want to use these elements like this, but there needs to be something in between. So you know when you get canvases, you also get these things. I'm just gonna use one of these to put it here. And hot glue works surprisingly well, so I'm gonna use that. I used to be scared of hot glue and now I just want it to get hot. But I don't feel it yet. Ugh, that's pretty uneven. But it's gonna be covered. It's gonna be okay. Ow, okay, that's hot enough. Let's just cover this whole thing in hot glue. It looks like a skyscraper now. Okay, and now the handle. Let's apply a good portion of glue and press. Let's not forget about these. So this is the base. I don't know what to add to the bottom yet. I was thinking like multiple gears on top of each other, but I'm not sure yet. Anyway, before I add any gears, I'm gonna add color to this. For steampunk, I'm obviously gonna use bronze. It just fits best. It doesn't really sound that full anymore, we're gonna see. But as a base, I'm first gonna paint all of this black. Oh, it looks really cool. It's entirely painted now, but still, I'm gonna spray it now. Let's see how much spray paint is left. Oh, it looks good. That's it. All right, the color is not sprayed even, but look at this. From afar, it just looks like metal. All right, I have my gears here and I want to add them, but that's not gonna work with hot glue. So I was thinking to use wire. Okay, I did a test and it's pretty firm. I think I'm just gonna repeat that. After applying a few gears this way, I also try to apply them with hot glue, only to realize that that was actually working and much more easy. So I glued the rest on with hot glue and it worked just fine. I glued some gears on top of each other to add them to the bottom, and now what looks finished is actually not yet finished, because now we're at my favorite stage, which is painting. In this case, make it look more worn down. To do that, I added black acrylic paint, as well as a bit of gold powder, or how it's called in German, Bleichgold. It gives it a more metallic look. I really like it. And I'm gonna be honest, it turned out way better than I expected. And now, canonically, no one has picked up these quests for a week. So unfortunately, no one's gonna do those quests. Good morning! Well, it looks like someone took on the quest. Oh my god. Here is my pressed seawater. My mic just turned off and I don't know how much it recorded, but this is Warbler, which is a thermoplastic. I want to make a water dagger with it, and to work with this I need heat. So I brought my heat gun. Last time it kind of didn't function as it should, so now let's just hope that it gets hot again. This is the Warbler. I'm just realizing that you can probably not really see it, but I think I'm not gonna use the whole thing. Maybe I'm gonna use half. So let me cut it in half. Oh, it's harder to cut than I expected. I have 2 sheets. One's gonna be the blade, and let's just freestyle. Yes, it's getting warm. That's great. I'm heating up the middle for some reason. Oh, okay, I have an idea. Let's heat up this entire part and then... Ah! It's too hot. I kind of want to twist it. Oh wow, this is not working the way I imagined. Yes, this is more like it. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what I'm doing, but there's certainly something happening. This is an interesting edge. I have to decide if I like it, but now we have proof that it can be folded. Let's fold it more. Well, this was more complicated than expected. After kind of folding the entire thing, I cut it in shape a bit and then applied hot glue on top to kind of shape it more. And now we have this. It looks a bit chaotic, but you know what? I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm gonna add a few droplets. I have to be careful. 1 droplet. Nice. Another one. Nice. Another one. Nice. I'm gonna keep all these leftovers because you can melt them. There's so much hot glue. When I was eating breakfast today, I accidentally chewed on hot glue. It took me some time to realize that. Since this is water themed, why not make it mermaid themed? Which means I want to add a fishtail here. I just have to think of how. When I made this headpiece, I used 5mm EVA foam and layered it on top of each other. I just don't know if I have any foam left, so I have to check that out. Oh yes, I actually have enough. Damn, this is way more foam than I thought I'd have, but that's good. Okay, we've had quite a lot of shapes of daggers, and I want this one to be a curve, so in this direction. And of course, there should be a tail or something, and maybe, just maybe, some fins on the side. Let's get to work. So, after creating a fish shape, I cut out all the fins out of transparent Warbler and pressed the heated material onto some wire to give it a bit of texture. After combining everything, I filled up the sharp edges with foam clay. And here I'm making scales out of foam clay, but the recording is painful to watch. Anyway, this is how it looked after that, and that's when it was ready to be painted. And before I paint it, I always cover it in some sort of primer. This time it was gesso. I let everything dry overnight and sprayed it silver on the next day. Then I painted some blue on top, as well as on the blade, and to make the transition more natural, I added some gemstones. It is pretty rough around this part here, but it looks okay with the gemstones. Anyway, you can see that all the fins are covered because I didn't want any paint to get on them, and now we can uncover them together. So here we go. Ta-da! I wanna paint it a bit, like on the edges. Okay, I think that's good enough. This is my mermaid dagger. It kind of actually does look like a fish. This is so funny to me for some reason. I'm gonna put it here for now. Why not? Oh my god, someone actually took the quest. I did not expect that at all. We actually have a feather here. And yes, obviously this angel feather is just white warbler that I cut out. Okay, I have had quite a lot of time to think about this and I have a vision in mind. This is gonna be the blade, and then this is going to be the grip. I cut it out with my laser again and they're gonna be layered like this. It doesn't really give angel vibes yet. That is why I prepared eyes. But this is just a simple piece of paper. I wanna try to make them three-dimensional. So I need something transparent. Why not use hot glue? I might have a little obsession, but hot glue is great. Okay, hot glue is not perfectly clear, as you can see here, so I'm not gonna make the layer too thick. Okay, let's try. This is how it's supposed to look. And I touched it. Oh, stupid. Why do I always have to be so impatient? I'm gonna be honest, it actually looks like proper eyes. Oh my god, that's so smart. I can just rip this off, because the paper it is glued to will stay glued to it. We have a first eye. Oh my god, I can't wait for the moment to have a bunch of eyes in my hand. And here we go. But before that, I had to make the feather look more like a feather. And I only had to texturize it by heating it up and pressing wire into it. And that's it. Simple, but effective. And now, of course, I did not forget about the eyes. And yeah, obviously this is not the finished look, because once again, I used foam clay to kind of texturize it. It took me quite some time to cover all of the eyes with tape, as well as the blade. And then I primed it with gesso because I wanted to spray it, only to realize that I don't have gold spray paint here. So I painted it with my gold powder, which was kind of a challenge because it got a bit messy and I had to apply multiple layers, but in the end it worked out. I was able to reveal the eyes, and then I just shaded it with a brown Copic marker to make it look more interesting, and to finish it up I applied some gold to the feather to actually make it look more heavenly. This is the finished thing. I think it's interesting because it's pretty simple. Simple, but dangerous, of course. I'm gonna put it here. And now, of course, here's a more detailed look. This video was planned to take 2 weeks to make, and somehow I almost made it in 1 week while still being kind of sick. I have to say I'm kind of proud of that. No, but really, I'm going on vacation next week and kind of wanted to finish this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it didn't feel rushed or like I was forcing myself to do work, because I'm feeling good enough. I just sound a bit destroyed, but it's okay. I hope you had fun watching this video, and we'll see each other next time. So have a nice day, evening or night, and bye. Don't ask any questions.